Hello guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Hammers. Something special happened this week that I can't describe what it means to me, and Paul, I will allow you to describe what it means to you in a minute. But ladies and gentlemen, finally, West Ham have won a bloody trophy in our bloody lifetime. All you Tottenham fans, all you Arsenal fans, any fans out there that says it's a tin pot trophy, go do one, because this is the best moment of my life and I'm going to enjoy it and I'm going to talk about it forever and rub it in. I don't care if West Ham even get relegated next year because I've seen my team win a trophy in my lifetime. We'll be back after this.
Hello.
Welcome back to the 3 hours.
I'm scared, mate. I thought The Rock was going to jump through the screen and punch me.
Well, we know Triple H is a fan, so maybe he'll pop on in a minute. I did my video yesterday about what it means to me. I know you did your reaction after the game, and I think after the game, like, it's more about the game, and stuff like that. But mate, the floor's yours for a minute. What the hell did that mean to you, and has it sunk in yet? It's sunk in for me now. I believe it is.
Yeah.
It's not a dream anymore.
It's still, I'll be honest, mate, I still don't think it has properly sunk in. And it's such a weird, it's just such a weird feeling, traveling home. Like, obviously, there's still thousands of West Ham out there. I came home on Friday and I flew into Birmingham, and in Birmingham, there was a load of Man City fans on their way out to Istanbul. So it was a mad mix of like supporters, and then I had to get another flight to Belfast. And on that flight, there was no West Ham, but one of the girls on the plane, she was like, "Oh, you must be an happy man." And then coming back yesterday, just out walking about, I still had the West Ham shirt on, and people were stopping you and talking about it. And it's just, I'm just like, is this real? Is this still? Did this actually happen? Did this actually?
It's not
happen?
meant to happen for us, mate, is it? I think that's what I said yesterday in my video. I was like, this ain't meant to happen. West Ham are not meant. We're not meant to have joy. And as I said, like, comparable before that is, I was there for Paolo Di Canio's goal. I see Kevin Nolan win the playoff, or I was there when Di Canio scored against Bartes.
Like, I watched that. I watched that video, mate, and it was a great video. And when you were saying that really brought it home to me as well. And it's like, it's true. It's funny when you think about it. Like, you list as you say, the highs that we've experienced.
It's goals and wins.
Yeah, and then you look back on it and you think,
like that.
Really, was that it? Is that it? But then those were the moments that made us appreciate this moment even more.
Yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. Going through that Mani Umawimi thing, as I said, and going through, like, you were there, mate, 2006. Seeing that pain, seeing us lose that final in Magaluf when we threw our shirt. And I don't think I wore a West Ham shirt for a whole year because I was so broken for about a year. That was just everything come out, I think, on that day.
Yeah, it was absolutely unbelievable. It was insane. And like you say, just the fact that we've now got a trophy in our cabinet that's happened in our lifetime. Like I say, mate, I never expected this. Like, not a European trophy, maybe we'd have had a fluke run in the FA Cup one year or something, but a European trophy. And you know what though? It gives you a taste for more.
Exactly, mate. As I said, it's the most addictive drug I think I've ever experienced in my life. Like that, you can't buy that. What's it called? Endorphins, dopamine, whatever it is that goes in your body. Like, it's just insane. And like, I was still emotional, like, talking about it for about 2 or 3 days later. It's just, I'm so happy that we've seen it, mate. Doing a YouTube channel as well, and like, that's taking nothing away from any West Ham fan out there. Doing a YouTube channel for the 6-7 years we've been doing it, and the absolute lows, and we've had to sit and talk through, mate. We started this just for the last season at Upton Park, then it carried it on. But this is what it's about now. This is why people suffer them pain, and all them people that have gone and watched West Ham lose 6-0 to Brighton and watch Roberto punch it into his own net. That's what it was about. It's just unbelievable. The bus as well. Like, mate, they reckon 100,000 people were on the streets.
It wouldn't surprise me. And you know, seeing the, I think it's a bit of a. I mean, I'm going to say it's a bit of a shame they did it so soon after.
Because of Fornals' wedding, weren't it?
Yeah, Fornals' wedding. It didn't really give some fans maybe a chance. Like I say, there's still thousands of fans in Prague, and there was like, you know, a lot of fans wouldn't have had the chance because it was such short notice. But then you see like you say, like 100,000 fans turned up. It's insane, and I loved seeing the pictures around the bowling, you know, and that just brought back memories of going to games at Upton Park,
mate,
and
like
leaving the stadium, and leaving the stadium, and just the fans there outside the bowling and down the Barking Road, and great to see. See.
Just a little bit on the match then, mate. Like, what was that last 8 minutes like, mate? You know, when Bowen scored.
So I haven't watched the full game back yet. I need to do that. I want to get the full game and watch the full game back once I've, like, you know, calmed down and sunk in and all the rest of it. I want to sit down, but I've watched the highlights a few times because obviously it's a different experience watching it on the telly and being in the ground. But yeah, it was weird. The first half, nothing really happened, and I'll be honest, mate. I was thinking this has got penalties written all over it. This game's got 0-0 penalties written all over it.
Goal,
yeah, that happened right at the death of the half. Obviously, thankfully, didn't count. But yeah, then the second half seemed to go by quite quick, and the obviously we got the penalty, and that was just, I said in my video, that's now the new most I've ever celebrated for a goal. It was crazy. You know, everyone saw it. Like, again, I was sitting at that side of the stand. I was sitting in that corner. It happened right in front of us, the handball. Everyone screamed handball.
Nerves of steel from Benny as well. Absolutely nerves.
Fantastic. Do you know what though? I don't think he is with us. He's probably still recovering. Our mate Bowden, Dan, who was out there with me, he'd said to me about 8 times, Benrahma has never missed a penalty for us. He's going to miss one today.
Yeah.
He kept saying he's going to miss one today. He kept saying he hasn't missed a penalty for us. He's going to miss one today. He was like, shut up. He's not going to miss a penalty. Yeah. And I honestly, I was confident. I was confident when he stepped up. I was absolutely bricking it. But fantastic penalty. And that moment, as much as the Bowen goal won it, for me,
even in the pub, mate, there was like 4 minutes of just madness until we was humbled, obviously.
Yeah. Like, even though the Bowen goal won it, that moment, it just felt like a release from everyone. It just felt like everything came pouring out. It felt it was, you know, you had there he is. You had like you had every our road behind, the row in front. Everyone was just hugging each other and jumping up and down, and people in tears, and that moment was absolutely insane. And then, you know, again, like I said in my video the other day, then you're thinking, this is it. This is our moment. This is it.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking the same thing in Cardiff in 2006.
Yeah.
Thinking this is ours. This is our moment. And then obviously they equalised. I think it was about 5 minutes later, and you know, it
good goal as well. Took it well.
It was a good goal, but it just drained everyone. It really did. You know,
I think the players took a bit of time as well, like, because they did start showing a bit of quality then. You know, they were popping it about quite nicely.
Yeah. And then, like you say, the last few minutes, you know, as I say, it was. I started looking at the time, looking at my watch, and it was about 86, 87 minutes.
Just don't concede.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking.
That's it.
Do not concede.
That's it. That was the only thing in my mind. Don't concede. Don't lose this at the death. Don't. I can't take that.
And it just come out of nowhere, though. The goal literally come out of nowhere.
It did, yeah. You know, it was, as I say, they, if anything, they run the attack more. You know, we were still trying to counter, but if anything, it looked like we were just trying to get the full time. And like I say, that's all I was just thinking. Just I can't take losing this in the last minute. Don't concede. Just don't concede. And then the ball dropped to Paqueta, and he played that pass through. And like I say, mate, like, time stopped. It did. Time time just stopped.
He had a lot of time as well. He did have a lot of time to think about it when he was running through.
He did. I never doubted him though. I didn't. If that was
I don't know,
Antonio,
all that was going through my mind was what me and you have said for years about him.
he hits the keeper.
He's a chest merchant. He
did hit the keeper as well. He did
Yeah.
hit the keeper. He got lucky it went in. He did. I think he would have liked to have lifted it a bit higher, to be honest. He did hit the keeper, and then the ball went in the back of the net. And you know, obviously, again, like I say, we were sitting in that corner, which was where all the players came to celebrate and it was just, and obviously Moyes is running down the touchline, and it was crazy. I love obviously I've heard it now from the after the game from the videos on BT. Brilliant commentary for that winning goal.
Yeah,
brilliant. That was like an iconic commentary moment. I don't know how many times me and Dan watched that afterwards.
I've watched all of them. Like TalkSports one was really good as well. If you've not caught that one, that's a really good.
I haven't. No, I'd have to check that out. But like I've had, like you say, mate. I was at Cardiff in 2006, and I've never got over that, and I've never watched that game back. Never. I haven't been able to. That broke me. That match and that Gerrard goal, I'm not joking, mate, is seared into my brain. Like I will never, ever, ever forget that. It's there. It's like it happened yesterday.
That's another time stop still moment, wouldn't it? It's like a boom, boom, boom,
that
boom.
Bowen goal has overwritten it.
Yeah,
it has. Definitely. Now, when I think back, that's what I think of now. That Bowen running through and finishing, that has now taken that place, and I'm so thankful for that. And yeah, just the scenes. Like I say, mate, and again, I said in my video, like I can only imagine what the scenes were when you were watching it, when everyone else was watching it.
Everywhere, it was just crazy, mate. Crazy. Like I say, I can't describe the emotion. It just all came over me, like just crying my eyes out. You know, I didn't expect that. But that's what it means. That is what it means.
Oh, wait, there's one of the videos I put up on my Instagram when I grabbed Dan and he's in tears, mate. I'm like, yeah, come on. He's just like,
mate, I've seen 50, 60, 70-year-old men crying their eyes out. Like,
mate, I feel like I'm going to go now.
Do that to me.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to go now, mate. It's bad. Yeah, but crazy.
It's beautiful.
Crazy.
Honestly, mate, I know people keep saying you get greedy for it, but I can die a happy man now. You know, I do want to see it again. Of course, I want to see West Ham win it again. But I feel like, I said it to you the other day, didn't I, in a text, that I feel like all that's gone. You know, all that pressure when I watch West Ham games now, like, oh, they're so annoying, they're so boring, I can sit back and relax and go, well, I've seen my club win something. Yeah.
Do you know what? I can appreciate now what the older fans have been saying for years. The way they talk about West Ham and their sort of attitude to West Ham obviously would be very different to ours, because they, you know, like my stepdad Norman, massive West Ham fan, got me into West Ham, and you know the way that he talks about West Ham and his attitude to West Ham, because he'd seen us win things. You know, now I kind of appreciate them a bit more as well. Do you know what I mean? Now we can say we've got that. You know, we can say we've got that.
Amazing. Just before I go in the comments, mate, what do you make of all these people, the fans that do say it is a tin pot trophy?
Who cares? Who
cares? Exactly. Yeah.
Who cares, mate? There's the people that the fans that say that are jealous because they haven't won nothing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You're telling me that if Tottenham won that trophy, they wouldn't be celebrating like we did?
Yeah, exactly.
Of course they would. Behave.
Exactly.
Even
they're not a team that could talk either, mate, with Tottenham. You know, they won one in 1961 and the trophy in 2008. I can understand Arsenal and Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool saying it, but I can't understand, you know, when it's coming from Tottenham. It was a Palace fan going, "You're not a big club You're not a big club. Don't kid yourself." We're not saying we're a big club. We're enjoying winning a bloody trophy.
We're a bigger club than they are.
Yeah, they've won nothing ever.
No, it's absolute pure jealousy, mate. Funny enough, I was in I walked around to the shop yesterday, and the guy come up to me again wearing West Ham, and he's like, "Oh, I shouldn't really serve you." I was like, "Why? What team do you support?" Tottenham.
Oh,
all right, yeah.
They hate it, mate.
He was like, "Oh, I didn't even watch the game." I was like, "Oh, right, yeah, mate. Oh, what did you win this year, though?" What did you win this year?
How many trophies Harry Kane got?
None.
Yeah,
Shut up,
that's
you
it.
mug. Burn your shop down.
I've just read that we missed the big hitters next season in the Europa League. Yes, we
in
do,
the group
mate.
stage. In the group stage, yeah.
We go into pot one.
Top
Which
seed.
is Roma. There's some other big ones in there. Bayer Leverkusen, I think, who are a fantastic team. So yeah, it's nice to be one of the seeded teams. Give it a good go. We'll talk a little bit about Europa League in a minute. We have our hearts broken all the time with West Ham and England. So to win something is such a good feeling. Congratulations to Paul for being there. Yeah, it's just
thanks, mate.
Unbelievable.
I just feel blessed, mate. I just feel
mate,
so lucky. I appreciate it more than I could say. It's just insane.
Met Police have said 150k to 200k. Wow. Geo skipped the parade for a Sam Fender content. That's obviously Hammer's chat.
Who's Sam Fender?
I don't know, mate. Would you have Fab in goal for Europa League next year? It's a good question. Ariola's starting goalie next year in Prem, yeah.
It sounds like that's what's been agreed as well. That is what it will happen.
Go on, mate.
Sorry, go on, mate.
I was going to say, just quickly on man of the match, mate. Obviously, just going into the match, obviously the big calls made by David Moyes was Emerson. Mate, how good was he?
I thought he was fantastic. He was our best player. He was our
real character as well, mate. On the bus as well, he was brilliant.
Yeah,
mate, was brilliant.
I've always rated Emerson, and I've always said that on this channel. You can go back and watch any of our videos. When we signed him, a lot of people were unhappy we signed him. Even when he first played his first couple of games, people were slating him. I've always backed him. I've always liked him. Obviously, watching him play for Italy
he's more
as well.
Suited to Europe, but he is a good player, mate.
He is a good player.
Listen, the only thing he hasn't won is the World Cup. That's the only thing he hasn't won. He ain't no mug.
And getting us up the pitch, he was fantastic at that. He was fantastic at getting us up the pitch. I thought he played really, really well. And he was 100%, he was our best player. I think Bowen got man of the match, didn't he? Yeah. Bowen got it, obviously, for the winning goal.
Tackle as well. Zuma as well was brilliant.
Shame he went off injured. But like you say, mate, Kera, he did so well when he came on. Really G'd everyone up. I think Sufal had a good game. Yeah, it was. If we're being realistic, we didn't play the best, but who cares? We all said this before the game.
Someone said it. I think it was Gonzo this morning. He said, in a final, it's not about how you play; it's how you win. It doesn't 100%. Matter. Yeah. JP says the craziest moment ever. Fans and players as one. Yeah, it did. It's put us back in a good place. No one will ever remember that we finished 14th. No one will remember that. And when Tottenham fans keep doing it at a minute on their podcasts, like joint podcasts, they'll go, "But where did you finish? But where did you finish?" You don't. Even if Tottenham finished 4th this year, you don't get a trophy for finishing 4th.
No,
you don't.
That's that, mate. What do you make of the ref? Absolutely shocking.
Yeah. Some of the I say that. At the end of the day, give us a penalty.
He gave us a penalty, but that was VAR gave the penalty.
And obviously, you wasn't watching it on the telly, mate. From the telly, it looked like that man was trying everything he can to disallow that penalty to go. No, it's not a penalty. Even though you literally see the bloke punch it, he punches it as it goes through.
The officiating was awful, and again on our side.
They were just awful that as well, mate. Like
they were, like rolling around.
I don't agree with the coin thing, and that's stupidity.
So they were rolling around right from the start. See, this is the thing, they were diving constantly. They were rolling around, holding their faces from the first minute, and that wound the fans up. And that's where that whole throwing stuff came from. That really wound the fans up. And I think the thing that sparked it, I don't know what came across on telly. But again, we were in that corner, so we were literally right in front of it. But the lino on that side, it was a woman lino. The ball went out, and she flagged for a goal kick. And then she changed her mind, or the ref changed it and gave a corner. And that it was blatantly a goal kick, right? And that really wound the fans up. And then I can't think of the guy's name who ended up getting it.
I can't remember. It was
But yeah, he come over to take the corner, and he was winding the fans up. And at first, it was like plastic cups were getting launched. And then I think it was the corner, the next corner. I'll be honest with you, I think they weren't even aiming for him. I think they were aiming for the lino, and she ducked out of the way. She sort of went woof.
It wasn't a coin either, was it? It was
no, it was like a vape or something. We didn't. Yeah. I didn't see that at the time. You know, I saw him get. He had a plastic cup bounce off his head.
Yeah,
and that's what we thought it was. We thought it was just a plastic cup, but obviously it turns out. And then you had. It was a weird moment. Again, I don't know how much they showed on telly, but Paqueta came over and started having a go at the fans. Basically saying like, "Calm down, what are you doing? Calm down." And everyone just got a little bit. I think everyone just got a little bit carried away. The only thing I'll say is I hope that we don't get punished.
Yeah, fan ban for the first game in the Europa League. Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, if it's going to be anything, I could see it being the first game, but I hope it's not too. I hope it's not too much.
No, that's it. I'm just going for a few comments here. Emerson is the only player to win 3 Euro medals. Still can't believe it's been done. A euphoria, absolute buzzing. Mwamba has more medals than Harry Kane. Oh yeah, it's Baraji. Yeah, thanks guys for that. Baraji. Yeah. Yeah. So after the game, mate, Declan Rice, Ronnie O'Reilly was interviewed, and they, I think it's so wrong that they asked him those questions on the pitch about his future. I think it's like, come on, love. And I like Jules, and I like BT Sports coverage. I think they've been fantastic over the last 2 years. But, let him enjoy that moment. And when he was asked, he said, I've got 2 years on my contract and, we'll see what happens. And then obviously David Sullivan, it fits in quite nice both of this. David Sullivan come out next day and said he's off. Do you think he's sort of maybe being forced out now? And,
no.
maybe he wanted to go and maybe David Sullivan's like, we're going to try and force them.
I think, to be honest, mate, I think there's layers going on there. I think first of all, I think up until that game, Declan Rice was leaving. There was no doubt in his mind he was leaving. Again, if you haven't seen it, watch my video of my thing the next day. During them celebrations, there's absolutely no way he was leaving West Ham. No way. There was absolutely no way.
Yeah, I think he was torn, mate. I genuinely do.
I think that moment swayed him and would have changed his mind. And then, like I say, the next day he wakes up back to reality. He's probably thinking, I want to move again. So I don't think he's been. I think what's happened is two things. I think before the game he did an interview and said that I've got 2 years left on my contract. It's up to the people above me what happens. I think what's happened is, and I can't stand David Sullivan. I don't want to defend the man, but mate, we offered you about 4 different contracts that you didn't sign. If you really wanted to stay, you would have signed a contract. Yeah. So I think Sullivan was baited by that and was like, no, mate, we offered you contracts. We wanted you to stay. You told us you wanted to leave. So I think that was Sullivan putting that out there to kind of say, no, mate, this was your decision, not ours. We wanted to keep you.
Yeah, because I thought, on the Stratford Town Hall, if Dex was really clear that he was going to leave, that was his moment. Like, you're in front of your worshipping crowd, basically. At that moment, he could have said goodbye. You know what I think? Yeah, maybe you're right, mate. Maybe he did. Maybe his mind has had a little sway, but now, like you said, mate, it's too late. And Sullivan knows that Declan Rice's price will never be any higher because
that's something that you need. Yeah, that's something that you need to look at as well. Realistically, I know we were talking about Paolo's interview yesterday, Di Canio's interview, and he said the same thing. For a club like West Ham, if we're going to get £100 million for a player who wants to move on, who won't sign a new contract, as a club, can we really?
Yes.
Yeah. As a club, can we really afford not to sell him?
I think you could wait. We could wait 1 more year and get.
I think the problem is if we wait 1 more year, we ain't getting nothing for him because he'll be up for free. He'll be able to sign a pre-contract in 6 months' time. and he'll be able
That's
to go
true.
for nothing.
That's
So
true.
if we let it go until next summer, we'll get nothing for him. Maybe we'll get 30 million or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's difficult, you know. And like I say,
I don't think that. What about a situation where Arsenal were sort of holding their arm up our back and like, oh, you know, we won't pay more than 85 million or 90 million. Then I wouldn't sell to him. Then I'd rather him go to another club next year for less money than go
no,
there.
I agree. You know, and that is where it gets difficult. We've got to play hardball a bit, and we have got to say, listen, this is what he's valued at. He can leave at that value. If you don't meet that value, he's going nowhere. And then that kind of contradicts what I just said. I know. But yeah, there is a bit of a, and again, this is the stupidity of, this is one thing I will say. Like, I don't think what Sullivan came out and said was necessarily wrong, but he shouldn't have said anything at all. He shouldn't have said anything. By coming out and saying what he did, basically saying, listen, we're selling Rice, he wants to leave. We're just, like, we're basically just telling the world, oh yeah, well, you know, we'll take what we can get. And I think that was really stupid. But yeah, we've got to be careful. We don't want to end up in another Payet situation where it's, oh, I'm only going to go to this one club, and you know, you have to sell me to this one club. And it's difficult. It is difficult. Do you know what though? All I hope now is that it gets sorted out quickly. It needs to be done this week, one way or the other.
We're
It
going
needs
to
to
go
be
on
done
to
this
David
week.
Moyes and stuff. It's like David Moyes' future. Are you staying? Yes or no? Declan Rice. Are you going? You know, yes or no? And there's a few things that need sorting quickly. The director of football, and then get these players in that we need. Just on Declan Rice, last thing, mate. I said he leaves a legend now, and other people were saying, oh, you know, Billy and Bobby are not legends just because of those trophies. They're legends because of the dedication and, you know, the lifetime spent at the clubs.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that comment. Again, this is before our time, but by all accounts and by talking to older fans and by, you know,
But
reading
Bobby
books and
wanted to
stuff,
leave, mate.
Bobby tried to force a move. He wanted to leave. He wanted to go to Tottenham. So
Yeah, mate, that is true as well. That's it. That
yeah,
is true. That is true.
you know, Bobby tried to force a move out to Tottenham. So, you know, no, Declan will go down in this. So there's again, we have spoke about this a little bit before as well, probably about 2 years ago now. But I do feel there's levels. I don't think Declan Rice is ever going to have a stand named after him.
No, if he would have
But
stayed, if he would have
stayed,
and
if
you
he'd
know,
have
done a Mark
stayed,
Noble, he's got
yeah,
to stand named after him.
absolutely, absolutely. But he has captained this club to a trophy. The man's a legend. I don't
Well,
care what anyone
He
else
is.
says.
Mate,
He is.
if Julian Dix is a legend, if Carlos Tevez is a legend, if my God, the man who's on the back of my shirt, Paolo Di Canio is a legend, Declan Rice is a legend.
Yeah,
He is.
of course he is. Of course he is.
Bowen is a legend now. Jared Bowen is a legend. He scored a winning goal. Asai Benrahma is a West Ham legend now. Yeah. Just going to go through these few comments. Rice on England duty. Yeah, that could hold it up a little bit. Obviously, a couple of weeks, and then be very, very interesting. 120 million or take the jump.
Do you know what though? I think the only thing that's going to work against us as well is Jude Bellingham went to Real Madrid for 80 million.
That was 88 million, going up to 115 million.
Let's be real. Bellingham's a better player than Declan Rice.
But what I've thrown a counter argument here is Rice is a proven Premier League player. I'm not saying Jude Bellingham wouldn't do it in the Premier League. He probably would. But you're buying a proven Premier League player and potentially your captain for 8 years.
I can see, just because of that dildo,
I think 95 million. I think 95 million is the price.
I think it will be structured similar, where we'll probably get about 80 and then add-ons taking it up to 100 plus. Yeah. I could see that.
Would you take the Smith Rowe thing? Apparently, Bowl accounts that Smith Rowe is the player we want. If it was to be some sort of part exchange, I wouldn't mind that.
You know, it depends. Again, it depends on the cash. Because obviously it's cash plus, and it depends on the amount. But if they said we'll give you 80 million in Smith Rowe, yeah, I'd take that.
I think it's a good deal. I do think that is a good deal. Yeah. Quickly run through some of these. In honesty, I wouldn't have signed the contract. Yeah, it was an 8-year contract. That is a good point.
No, so he turned down about 3 or 4 different contracts. The last contract we offered him was a stupid 8-year contract.
Yeah.
Which he was never, ever going to sign. I get that. But the contracts he turned down before that, they were just normal contracts that he turned down. And if he wanted to stay, he would have signed one of those contracts. He didn't.
No, exactly.
Listen,
I'm sure we
like,
could have agreed a Grealish sort of situation where it's like £100 million release clause.
Yeah. Listen, we literally just said Declan Rice won us a trophy. The man's a legend. In my opinion, and again, we were talking about this before the game, me and Dan, he can go anywhere. He can do anything. If he's given us a trophy, he can do what he wants. I will never hold it against him. If he wants to leave, let him go. I will wish him well. The man won us a trophy. He's a legend. He can do what he wants. But let's not pretend that he's being forced out against his will. He's not. If he wanted to stay at West Ham, he would stay at West Ham. I can't stand David Sullivan. I hate David Sullivan as much as anybody. Honestly, he's not the bad guy in this situation. He's not. If Rice wanted to stay, Declan Rice is leaving because he wants to leave. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I agree, mate. Bobby Moore tried to move to Spurs. We have to stick to our guns. The Gunners are only offering 95 million. I would take 95 million though, mate. I'm going to be honest with you. I think 95 million is probably the sort of what we will get. I think it will be around that sort of figure. Question: did anyone else fear Benny was going to get a second yellow when he pulled his shirt off and went? Yeah. I didn't even think of that. That was definitely going through my mind though at the time. We had the gentleman's agreement, but Arsenal are lowballing. Have made us have to redact on that. I agree. I think, I'm not going to let him go to Arsenal just because that's the club he wants to join. I don't think, like you say, mate, you don't want a Payet situation or a Arnie situation where it's, I'm only going to China, I'm only going to Marseille. No, go to bid some money.
Yeah, and I'll be honest as well, Arsenal doesn't even feel like a good move for him.
I don't think, I'll be very surprised, I don't think Arsenal sign Caicedo and Rice. I don't think they've got that level of cash. I could be wrong. If they sign both of them, Jesus Christ, they've got great midfield. But I just can't see it. Hawkins family, champions of Europe, we know what we are. Rice played week in, week out and never missed a Prem game. Most of us are thinking how Rice is leaving going to affect the players. He was the glue and he held everything together. It's a good conversation in a minute. Good point. Enzo Fernandez, 106 million.
World Cup winner, though. Major component of a World Cup winning team. Bit different.
Yeah, no, he's top player, though. Top player. Anything under 100 million, West Ham get ripped off again. Same as Rio.
Again, though, like people.
I had to look back.
That was a world record transfer.
6.6 million.
Huh?
Joe Cole went for 6.6 million.
Different time, mate. It was a different time. What did we sell Rio for? 30 million, 26 million or something?
No, 18.
18. There you go.
We went to Man United for 30.
That's right, yeah. But when we sold him for 18, it was a world record fee for a defender at the time.
I think so, yeah. British defender.
It was. Yeah. It was. You can't. It was a different time back then. It seems like just after that, it all went mental and exploded. But at the time, I don't think you can really say we got mugged on the price for Rio. What mugged us was Terry Brown. He's what mugged us.
With Rio, it's how we spent the money.
Exactly,
Rigobert Song or Titi Kamara or whoever it was we bought in.
But they was like, oh yeah, that'll buy us a new stadium, and we built a new West Stand, and then the rest of the money sort of disappeared. And like you say, we spent scraps on rubbish.
Offer Rice another contract with an 80 million year release clause. He won't sign it, mate, sadly. Sullivan needs to sell the club, yeah. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Do you think we need to sell Antonio? Yes. I cannot have that man leading the line again. Like, even on Wednesday night, he was awful. Nothing stuck to him. His shooting was poor. He's another legend now. But, I don't want to see him up front again. What about you, mate?
No, and I think he probably will go, to be honest. He tried to leave in January. And I think it depends on if we can get replacements in, but I think if we can get replacements in, he'll go. Yeah,
I think, it looks like Lanzini will go. Antonio, Declan, maybe
could go.
Sorry?
Fornals could go, I think.
I don't know. I think Pablo stays. I
Mm.
think he will be one of the key ones in Europe next year, Pablo.
Skamaka is gone by all accounts.
Yeah, which is a
He's
big shame.
100% gone.
Yeah, big shame.
Yeah.
You forget that we may get Vlasic money as well. So there potentially could be a decent amount of money to spend, but we have got to buy some good players. We're going to talk about transfers in a minute. If Rice wants to win things, he needs to go to City or Bayern. The problem is, Man City have the best CDM in the world in Rodri at the minute. Don't matter if it was.
How can it not matter, though? Of course it matters. You can't say that we got mugged off on the price when it was a world record transfer.
Yeah. I don't see him winning anything in Arsenal. I really don't. No, he may win an FA Cup, may win a League Cup, may win a Europa League. He is not winning the Champions League at Arsenal. And I said it in a video the other day, didn't I? I said, like, in 10 years, if you went to Chelsea, in 10 years, if you said Chelsea might win the league in 10 years, I'd say, yeah. But if I said to you, could you confidently say Arsenal will win the league in 10 years? I can't.
No.
Even Man United, mate. Man United, post-takeover in a few weeks, few months' time, Man United are a better proposition than Arsenal. Newcastle are a better proposition than Arsenal.
I agree with that, yeah.
Yeah. Remember Tony Cottee, 2 million to Everton, highest price. I do believe we, at one point, broke the record for a goalkeeper as well, Phil Parks.
We did, yeah. We did, yeah.
Guys, so many comments. Sorry, guys. Great to see 54 people watching. Now, if you've not subscribed and you're watching, please do subscribe.
I just want to say, sorry, mate, just because we're having a bit of an argument there, and I don't want to argue with my fellow fans on a day like this, but that I agree with you 100%, mate. Yeah, 100%. You know, that exactly right. Sullivan should shut up. Yeah, I agree with you there, mate. Sorry.
Did people call you UEFA Cup a Tin Pot trophy because this is the modern day version? Yeah, that's right, mate. It's just jealous fans. This week has just proved that the West Ham family, you will never understand it unless blah blah. I can't read them all, guys. I'm gonna have to skip a few here, mate. Sorry, guys. I'll put this one, but I'm gonna have to skip a few. Next point, mate, on my little book of notes. David Moyes, mate. Talking of West Ham legends, is he a West Ham legend now, mate? And, you know, it looks like he's going to stay. I know before Wednesday we wanted him to go, but I still want him to go, but he's earned the right to stay.
Yeah, you know, my thoughts exactly, mate. I'm not a fan. You know, it's been such a weird swing for David Moyes. When he first came back, I really was against it. I never wanted him back. And then he shut me up and proved me wrong and, you know, took us to Europe 2 times in a row. And he had me saying, this is unbelievable. I bought into the Moyes hype. You know, I was well behind it. And then it just sort of fell apart this season. And he lost me again. And he did. And I wanted him gone. And I just wanted to see the back of him. But now, like you say, mate, you have to look at it. At the end of the day, at the end of the season, we finished 14th and we won a trophy. You know,
before the season, you would have took 17th in a trophy.
Of course you would. You know, you have to say this was a successful season. It was. And is David Moyes a legend? As much as I don't really like the man, as much as I like you, I still would like him to leave. 100% he is. 100% he is. The man has got us Europe back to back to back. You know, he's won us a trophy.
Saved us. He's completed his... You know, he's whatever you want to call it, mantras, logic, his schedule, every time saved us, got us into Europe, got us to a semi-final, saved us, got us a cup.
Listen, you know, I still think the best thing for all parties would be for him to part ways at the end of the season, leave on a high. You know, I think that would have been the best thing with this trophy, leave on a high, be remembered as a legend, because I still, you know, I still haven't seen anything that he's going to change the way we play, that he's capable of that. You know, we lost 20 odd games. It was 20 games, wasn't it? We lost 20 games in the league this season, which is appalling. I'm not going to crap on the final because as we said, it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you do it. We won that, but it wasn't exactly a dominating performance. I honestly, genuinely think that the best thing would have been for him to leave on a high now, for us to shake hands and say, David, thank you very much. You're a West Ham legend. You go down in the history books. You'll be remembered for this forever. Go and take over Celtic. Go crazy. Win the league up in Scotland. Happy ever after. Because if now it looks like he's staying on. If we start bad,
Yeah, mate.
and
Then first 10 games, it goes bad.
if we carry on like we finished and like we played in the league, the season just gone, it's going to get toxic again. And then you're
the
back
problem
to
is, like that comment there, mate. Would you trust him to spend the money? If you keep him, he brings in his players, and then, like you say, mate, 10 games in, it's like we want him out. Then this new manager's, you've spent maybe 200 million again potentially.
Yeah, listen, I hope it don't happen. I hope we
No,
absolutely start
don't
flying. Listen, I hope we come out and we are smashing teams left, right, and centre, and we're up the top end of the table after the first 10 games. I hope more than anything that this season is a blip. I hope more than anything that this season in the league was a blip, and Moyes shows his quality and we play fantastic. But I've got my doubts, and I worry that, as you say, mate, if we start bad, all this goodwill will go quick. It will evaporate, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
No, I don't want to see it for him either, mate.
Exactly.
Whatever I think of him as a manager, you'd be quite cold-hearted if you didn't enjoy the fact that man's won a trophy in his career.
Of course. And like you, as much as I think it would be best for all parties for him to leave now, you can't. There's not a single West Ham fan that can say he hasn't earned the right to go again.
And you can understand why Sullivan is not putting pressure on him to sort of go, because he will look like an idiot if a new manager comes in and has 10 bad games. I think he will be a manager for next year. I do.
I think he will, and like I say, that's why I think I think Moyes should have walked himself. I think Moyes should have gone to Celtic, and then everyone kind of wins. I do worry about how we're gonna start the season. We'll see. And also, I don't like ever letting a manager go into the last year of their contract.
No.
Because if it does,
times, mate.
we've had it too many times. And if it does start going wrong, everyone knows that it's going wrong, and it just falls off a cliff. I don't like that. If we are going to keep him on, we should give him an extension. We should give him a new contract. But that's not going to happen because it might go wrong. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I don't like it. But get a new manager for the league and people for Europe. Hey, boys, just turned in from Australia. Wow.
Cheers, Mark.
Moyes is still behind Lyle and Greenwood, but has done well. Yeah, listen, mate, he's in that conversation now, though, for the modern era. Sorry, guys, literally, there's so many comments, which is absolutely amazing. 442 YouTube channel has done a good breakdown of Moyes' tactics to win the final, which implies the struggle in the Premier League.
In the Premier League, yeah.
Right, I'm going to stop there with the comments. So the next one, mate, is Bowen. Looks like he's going to be offered a new contract. Thank God. Like, we cannot afford to be losing, have a situation like Rice next year. He seemed like, he's absolutely bought into the West Ham thing now. He's fallen in love with the club. And should be one of the highest paid players at the club. He is vital to the way we play. Him, Zuma, and until Antonio's replaced, they're probably maybe the key three players. No.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like you say, I don't. And again, this is back to the way that Moyes plays. But the way that Moyes plays, yeah, absolutely. Bowen, Antonio are absolutely key, as is Rice. And it's great to see him sign a new contract. Like you say, I think he
hasn't signed it yet, but like I say, discussions are in place for him to be on 125 grand a week.
I think he will. I think he will sign it. I don't know why he would want to leave. I'll be honest, I can't see a big enough club coming in for him that would make him want to go. I think it suits all parties. Like I said, I think he's fell in love with the club, and he's been up and down the last couple of years, but he has had some big moments for us. He's a bit of a moments player.
Very important goals, yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit of a moments player, and you need that. You need that sometimes.
Yeah, we've got to look to keep players down. You know, like Paqueta is one that scares me. You know, if he has a really, really good season next year, you know, our other club's going to look around at him because he's top player, mate. He's top player.
Oh yeah, and the thing is now that Rice is probably going, you've already seen it in the press. The attention is shifting to Paqueta.
Yeah,
you've already seen it. I've seen it. You know, he's going to be the main man now, and you know, it seems like he should be the player that we're building the team around, and I think he is. I think he is that player.
yeah.
You know, he's started to show his class. He's started to settle into the league, and he does look, a serious talent.
Yeah. On the transfers targets, then, mate. Harvey Barnes. This is Rice money, obviously. Harvey Barnes. We've talked about him before. He'd be fantastic. I think. You know, I think you'd have two workhorses, him and Bowen, left and right. Paulino from Fulham, 50 million. They would accept 50. I think 50 is a bit.
I think that's a fantastic price
Great
for him.
player, but
I would
prefer Edison Alvarez from Ajax.
The thing is there you're looking at, like you say, your proven Premier League player again compared to someone who's we're not sure who can actually do it in the league.
Or Sangria, is that his name?
Sangria, yeah.
I
think
like him.
Edison's a bit younger than Pauline, any, but I would see either of those two, mate. I'll be over the moon. I actually think 50 million for him's decent.
Yeah.
I do.
I'd like
it sounds a lot.
But... as well. Sekou Fofana, I would love.
Yeah. There's some good options out there, and this is why we need to get Rice sorted early so that we can move on these players that we want. Although it seems like that Edson Alvarez is going to Germany. So yeah. But yeah, Harvey Barnes would be a fantastic sign.
I think that's a real good statement signing that as well. You know, England international. I'll be
scores goals, assists. Yeah, I think he'd be really good on that left hand side.
He terrorizes as well. Absolutely terrorizes.
I still worry a little bit that we haven't got any cover for Bowen. You know, we haven't had cover for Bowen for 2 years.
And competition. Just competition as well.
Yeah, so I think we need a right-sided player as well. Unless he moves Benrahma over to the right side, if Barnes comes in, I don't know.
We potentially will need a striker as well.
100%. I think
goes, Antonio goes. You're only left with Danny Ings.
Yeah, we will definitely need a striker. We'll probably need two strikers, to be honest. Although maybe Mubama can step up. But yeah, we definitely need a striker as well. We obviously, Ward-Prowse has been heavily linked.
I want him. I really do want him. I really want him.
I think he would be a good signing. I've seen the same as you, mate. I've seen a lot of fans not impressed by him, but I don't know why.
I can understand, the legs and stuff. People like a little bit, actually in game, what does he do in game? But if Moyes is going to play, sit back and, look for set pieces and stuff, then you buy the best set piece taker in the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think he would be good if you had him, Paqueta, and then Paulinho,
and then a destroyer.
Yeah, in that midfield, I think that's got a nice balance as well. I think he'd be a good. Again, depends on the price, but I think he'd be a good signing. The only thing is how much he would cost. I don't know. I think left back, right back. Left back. Cresswell signed an extension, did he? So we've got Cresswell, Emerson.
Yeah, I don't think. I'll just go back to that one. I don't think we'll be signing fullbacks, mate. I just think that
you got Kera, Soufal.
At the moment, the money needs to be spent elsewhere, and I think, like you say, it'll be the Paulinos, the Ward-Prowse, because I always get pulled up on it.
I think we've got enough cover at fullback. If Cresswell's signing an extension, like I say, we've got Cresswell, Emerson. On the right, it looks like Ben Johnson might leave, but we've still got Johnson. We've got Kera. We've got Soufal. Defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder. I would say we need a defensive midfielder and a centre mid, and we 100% need a centre forward. Yeah, Skamaka, by all accounts, he's gone, mate. He's gone, which is such a shame. Yeah. Such a shame.
No, it is a shame, mate. It is a shame. Southampton will
52 million for
the
price. I
think that's just like when you put your house up for sale, you put it at highest price. I think you could get them down to about 45 million, and I think that would be a good price. Actually, I do, because you're buying a specialist. Basically, you're buying someone who's a specialist.
I think for me, I wouldn't want to go more than about 35. I don't think for him.
Very likely, but we have a 22-man squad, so we could get to 25. A couple more things, because then I'm actually on JP's show, and I know that's why he's in the chat, because he's waiting for me.
There's one, mate. That would be a dream signing.
Oh, yes, I know you picked the same one as me. Yeah,
that would be a dream signing, mate. But
that ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Wood Prowse is a good bet. We have lost the ability to score from set pieces. I would like a left-sided fullback. Yeah. I want Alvarez, but it won't happen. Not just that, mate.
That's an interesting one. Where did you read that, mate?
I've not read that. Yeah, I've not read that.
I can't see that. I think Kera's another one. I think he's grown into the
team
this
mate.
Season.
The way he was on that bus with the shouting and
I think he's grown into the team, and I think he's he can play two positions. I think he's a very good player. I think he loves the club. I think he's fell in love with the club, and I've seen a lot of people talking about him as potential captain material.
Yeah, mate, that is actually on the list in a minute, captain. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Dan says Paulinho got 14 bookings last season. The fans will love him. The second coming of John Moncur. I think we need to sign a right back unless we sign another one. CB Kerr will need cover. I think Soufal has come back into his game, though. I do. I really do.
I know that's the thing with Soucek, mate. We'll see, won't we? I think we'll see if we have better quality to choose from. Maybe Soucek will move.
Yeah.
What about we were linked with him quite heavily last year. The centre back, Fiorentina centre back, was it Milenkovic?
Yeah, I was impressed with him.
I thought he looked quite good. Yeah,
I was impressed with. I was really impressed with Amrabat by all accounts. So he's turned us down. Apparently, it's all up in the air with Juve at the minute. I think you find out today. Actually, I think it's today.
Whether they'll be banned from Europe. I don't think there's a transfer ban though. I don't think there is, because they did like a plea bargain with Serie A and took the 10-point deduction. I haven't seen anything about a transfer ban though. But yeah, obviously Scamacca could be going to Juventus. Yeah.
Tammy was mentioned, but won't happen.
He's done his ACL.
Yeah, it's a shame. I would have liked that. I think he would have suited our system. Brozier is also coming up again. I read this morning.
But he hasn't played for a year.
No, he's another one who's had an injury, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was ACL as well, wasn't it? I'd be very worried.
I would take if there was a chance. Looks like Tillemans is joining Villa. What a great signing that is for Villa.
It's done. I think that was announced this morning or last night. Yeah,
fantastic signing. JP Tony is in the stream, so see you soon. Yep, I will. As soon as I get off this, mate, I'll jump on. Blah 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 blah. Two more things, mate. Next season, and we're going to talk about the captain. Right. So for next season, mate. Let's talk about captain first, because then that leads in quite. So with Declan leaving, mate, obviously. Lost our captain last year with Markey. We'll lose our captain this year. Is there a captain in the team, or like I tweeted the other day, do you think we need to go and buy one like we did with Kevin Nolan and Lucas Neal?
It's difficult, isn't it? Because if you look at the players that would be the obvious candidates, would be Cresswell and Ogbonna. But I don't think either of them are going to play many games next year.
Well, and again, you get a situation where they'll be gone next summer.
Yeah, exactly. So it's I see a few people saying this online, and I agree with them. I think we could have, like we had last year, a club captain and a team captain. So I think probably Cresswell or Ogbonna will be the club captain, even though they're not playing much, and then we'll have a team captain,
which is maybe a good.
Yeah. It's that one is tough to pick out. It is. Yeah.
If Zuma wouldn't have had his controversy, I would have been saying Kurt Zuma is captain.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, or like you say, it could be if we bring in a Ward Prowse, it could be someone like that. But
I don't think people are saying Paqueta in the chat. I know someone said Paqueta there.
I don't think he speaks English well
enough.
I
think that's the problem. Yes, it's that, and it's to speak English.
And it's a good point that I read this as well yesterday. Where it was brought up that not that just that he doesn't speak English enough to communicate, is to communicate with the officials, to communicate with the referee. Yeah. I think that might be a problem.
That's a good shout. But again, how much football is he going to play? I would love Pablo to be captain. Captain Soucek, God, no thanks.
He captains the international team.
Yeah. A good, not even untouchable in his position. Yes,
I agree with that. I agree with that, mate.
Yeah, that's very true. Too soon to be captain. Pablo is an outsider. Kerr would make a good captain. Again,
I agree with that.
is he
I think
guaranteed his place, though? That's the problem.
I think if Kera has a good season, if he plays more and he has a good season, I can 100% see him taking it, because he does seem like he's got that character in him.
Yeah, he can get people together.
Yeah, I do think he's got that in him. But like you say, he hasn't even got a starting place guaranteed, so you can't really give it to him this year.
Okay, last thing, mate. Next season, fixtures do come out next week. What do you want next season, mate? What do you want? Like, after
Same
being
again.
so spoiled, yeah.
No, I would. I think it's going to be much harder. I had a look at the teams that are in the Europa League that are guaranteed to be in it, and you look at the teams that are in it, and it puts into perspective the quality of team that we played in the Conference League. It's a big jump. It's a big jump.
Oh yeah, mate. Roma, Liverpool, even Brighton, a team we've never ever beat. So
absolutely. It's gonna, plus teams dropping from the Champions League as well. It's a big ask to try and win the Europa. Obviously, we got to the semi-finals, so it's possible, but it's going to be much tougher. So I think we need to balance it better with a league. I think if we're going to have any chance, and again, like I say, it's not impossible that we win Europa, but I think if we want to stay as a European club playing in Europe, I think we're going to need to do it through the league next year.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I don't expect us to win it, and I don't think we will win it. Who was it that Matt put it just there? For me, minimum of last 16 and a minimum of 8th or 10th.
That'd be good, yeah.
That would be a good season.
The thing is we would miss out on Europe with that. But I mean, we can't be too greedy. We are West Ham.
I think, it's really difficult, isn't it? Because when you've won a trophy, it's like, well, what do you want? And it's like a bit of stability again. If someone said it when Moyes at Everton, when he had a season like this, the next season he went on and finished 5th or 4th and got them in the Champions League. If last season was a transitional season, then okay, I want to see it now. I want to see what it's about now.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Let's see. Like you say, if we're going to write off the league last season and say, all right, it was a transitional season. All right, let's see the fruits of that. Let's see that happen. But yeah, I think if we can finish top half, and what I don't want to see is another season of thinking we're going to be relegated. Fighting up until the last couple of weeks of the season. I don't want to see that. Good run in the Europa. Yeah, good run in the Europa League, top half. I think it'd be a good season.
The thing is, even if we finish 3rd in the group, we still can drop into the conference.
Yeah, you drop to the conference and we win that again.
And we can become the Seville of that trophy. Yeah. So on a whole then, mate, as the season has fully finished, what do you rate it now? Last week when we spoke about it, we give it like 5 out of 10 if it was just the league, but if we go on and win it,
9 out of 10.
Yeah,
9. I'll give it a 9. 9 out of 10. I can't give it a perfect 10 because the league was so crap. But like you say, mate, who's gonna remember the league in a few years' time? Who's gonna remember? No one. No one's gonna remember.
Exactly.
9 out of 10. Fantastic season.
Yeah, 9 out of 10. Player of the season for you?
It's gonna have to be Dex now. Yeah, I mean it has to be Dex. It does. He had his ups and downs this season, just like everyone else in the team. I think at one point maybe his head was somewhere else, but the last couple of months, sorry, my voice is going again. The last couple of months, he carried the team on his back. He did, and he showed that he is. What do you make
of just on that? Just because it's a good thing you said there. What do you make of people that said, there's a few fans that have gone, oh, Declan Rice has carried this team for 2 or 3 years. Do you agree with that? Or, he's not irreplaceable for me.
He's not irreplaceable.
It's a big loss. It's a huge loss, but
he is irreplaceable with one player. It is not. There's no way we buy one player to replace him. He's replaceable with two players to balance the midfield. Sorry, guys, my voice is literally going again. Jeez. But for a one player, he's irreplaceable. And I do think he's carried the team. I do. Like I say, I think at the start of the season, I don't think he was playing very well. But this last couple of months,
I can't say much because, you know, for years on this channel, I've said no one has won Hammer of the Year 3 times in a row like Scott Parker. He's done that now, you know, he has done, and he, you know, I can say, yeah, okay, yeah, you know.
Listen, he's been the standout. I think up until Paqueta recently in the last couple of months, there's no doubt he's been the best player on the team. No doubt. Absolutely no doubt about it. And I do feel like there were moments, especially towards the end of this season, where he started going on them busting runs, scoring goals, where he carried this team, he lifted them. I don't think we saw that, and you know, we talked about it on here. I don't think we saw that from him a lot this season, in the start of the season, but towards the end, I think he showed what he's about.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I agree. Just before I finish, I want to say congratulations to Manchester City, because, you know, I do have a soft spot for them, and our fan bases do seem to, you know, get on quite well. Yeah, what a fantastic season, guys. Thank you so much for, you know, watching all season and, you know, sticking by it, because it's been a slog, but it's been worth it. You know, we've been rewarded. This is not the end of the channel or anything, or the end of the season. I'm sure me and Paul will be back every weekend, because there's still a massive transfer window ahead. And I think a lot of news will happen between now, you know, and the start of the season. Obviously, next week we'll be able to talk about the new fixtures. We'll probably know more about Moyes and Rice. And I'll be doing videos, you know, just put that up because...
thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
He needs to do more. He needs to do some more individual videos. You know, he does. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We did it 4,100, which is fantastic. You know, get to 5,000 by Christmas will be amazing for the channel. Until next time, come on, you irons, wear the shirt with pride, puff your chest out, and enjoy it, because we might be 70-year-old men doing it next time. And ladies, come on, you irons, let's go.
Cheers.